Where's my notes? Okay, last time was quite interesting. We solved a major issue that's upon Mithros. What did we do? We got the harp from Boreas, and Phoebe cast. Well, we went back to Mithros and performed. Phoebe performed a whole musical to control weather, and then it helped alleviate the situation that's in Mithros. I think the weather is doing better now, and the king, the cast has rewarded us with the location of the mighty outros. What happened after? We got summoned by Valis before we left, and she was warning us about how the king might be sending us to our doom because the king doesn't really like us. And yeah, we got a couple of things to do before we leave. Valis was saying that there's a couple of issues happening in Mithros. One of them is Minotaur slavery. There's also a thing with the cult of Lutheria, and yeah, so that's about where we left off last week. I think.
Yeah, it was tidying up and literally changing weather, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Some of the other things that were mentioned were the academy
Visiting the academy.
is available. You can pretty much you have free reign on the city, so you can go wherever you want. The great games were mentioned. And also there's to be a wine festival that goes alongside the great games where plays will be held. What else is going on in the city that Valis would have mentioned that I might have forgotten? Double check.
There was the prophecy.
Prophecy?
Well, no, the images of the boat.
Oh yes. Well, what you received, the vision that you received when you drank from the horn of Balmitria, after you defeated Demetria. You had visions of a large, huge trireme being crewed by ghosts, and yourselves atop this trireme. And well, at the time when you all had the exact same dream, same vision. When you communicated that to Kira, she identified it as the Ultros. So, so then the question becomes: you have free reign of the city. The Queen informed you that you do have lodgings in the castle, in the palace. They're not like the most central, but like you do have some lodgings, if you so wish. You can make alternative arrangements as well if you wish. And city is yours. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do?
Should we get some food at the very least?
Yeah.
Treat ourselves to a bit of a feast.
We could. Yeah, I think that could be good. We could find maybe find a tavern that will give us some good food, but also maybe we can talk to the people, see what's get the people's perspective, what's going on.
Sure,
we'll see.
We're native, so we should know our way around.
I know a tavern. It's a bit of a working class tavern. It's down near the docks. If you guys would be interested, we could head down there.
Yeah, sure. They have some nice fresh fish or anything like that?
I'm sure he will. I mean, he usually he's a big fan of meat anyway and fish because he was a sailor himself, the owner. So I'm sure he'll have some fish and a lot of ale and meat, and hopefully have a good portion of food for us. It's been a while now since I've been there, so I'm not sure what the menu is
Yeah,
like these
true,
days,
true.
but it should be good.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
And we can go to the academy after then.
Mm-hmm.
That suits.
Okay.
Let's go.
I don't have a map for the tavern, because there's so many directions that you guys could go that I don't have maps for everything, just like the main ones. And so what I'll do then is Tabs. I'll just bring us back to this one. And I will remove the rain effect because it's no longer raining.
Can I, as we're going through the city, can I keep an eye out for two things? One, first of all, any suspicious side-on followers who might be tracking us around, and second of all, maybe if I see minotaurs, to see how disgruntled or downtrodden they look as we go through the city, just to get a perspective.
So what are you keeping an eye out for?
Two things, side-on followers that might be suspiciously following us or keeping an eye out.
So being followed.
And two, just to see what if we run by minotaurs or slaves, whatever, just to kind of have an idea how they look. Like, are they being mistreated? Are they?
Yep. Okay. So in that case, perception check.
Now that you mentioned that, should we
Oof.
follow Gaius? Or nah?
Gaius has not left the palace or the throne room.
Okay.
After you leave, after the king dismissed you, after giving you his reward and you solved the storm, he those that remained, Chandras, Gaius, and his concubine Bella, they remained while you left, and you went then like just as you were meandering around, you didn't see Gaius. Okay. So the map I have I put in the Odyssey channel. Scroll up a little bit. It might be a bit big, so I'm gonna open it. It is pretty huge, and you can zoom in pretty far. So you started in the Great Palace, and you're traveling down into the Myticles district in the harbor. It's a decent enough walk, and as you're moving through the city, it's sunny, it's lovely, and you see people, and like shortly after the storm died down, from up on high in the palace, you could start to see people slowly emerging from their homes. But now that you've exited the palace after talking with the queen, and you're moving down the steps, like the marble steps, past all the lovely shrubbery and trees that denote this like higher, more elevated plane, and you're walking by the temple of the temple to Sidon and the temple to the Five. You descend down into the city proper. You start to see many people emerging from their homes. Carts starting to meander their way through the streets. People starting to best way of describing it is like, you remember how empty the streets were during COVID, and then all of a sudden now, like, you walk along a main street in town or something like that, and it's packed with people. That's what it's like. Where when you were first traveling through the city, it was dead. No one was around. Now it's just like people are like like moving through, weaving through crowds. Some are just basking in the sun.
Is there any are we passing any main squares by chance?
Looking
Or
at the map. Um,
do we any
so you would be passing through the royal gate. So when you leave the Great Palace, coming down the stairs that lead to the Great steps that lead to the Great Palace, you see the Temple of Sidon on your right, which is this huge temple topped with blue slate, and just pillars all around. It's completely held up with pillars, and you see like a central chamber alongside a large golden statue of Sidon. And then to the left, as you're leaving the palace, you see the Temple of the Five, which is, while not as large in terms of like size to as Sidon's temple, it is still like very well looked after and very well cared for. And there are five statues, each representing each of the gods, kind of arrayed around in a circle. And you do see attendants on both temples moving about, looking to be a bit more as you see some pilgrims approaching the temples now that they can actually move through the city. Going through the royal gate, it is a large, old-looking gate that looks to have been beaten pretty badly. Once upon a time, it looks like the damage that was done to this gate was repaired, but it was purposefully left looking damaged. Like it looks like it had been hit by some form of magical siege attack that left it damaged, but it is still functional, and it was left in this state on purpose. As you go down the ramp into the Cosmopolitan district, there are no real squares in this area. There is like a training area that you see in the Cosmoplay area that looks to be kind of like a small little gymnasium, kind of just where people are practicing, like young kids are practicing forms of unarmed fighting. It's kind of like it's like a pit for training, like an area that like you just see some slightly older men like just training young kids how to fight. It doesn't look like a military place, just kind of, yeah. Then moving through
I'm thinking, I'm thinking, would there be any spots in particular which I would know where there'd be good places where people give out speeches or proclaim things, you know?
The Great Agora would be the predominant place where news is proclaimed.
Okay. I'm just thinking later we could consider going there to spread the tale of what we did ourselves. Just to make sure that the king isn't getting the credit for something we've done.
That's
I
true.
think we should, because and also to spread our good names as well. They might help us out in any missions that we have, or people might come to us with our extra renown to look for help. So,
okay. As you're moving through the Cosmoplay district, you come to a narrow, a somewhat wide bridge. It's about maybe 40 feet across, leading over this stream that's coming down from Mount Vulcan. That literally travels the whole way through the Stygian Row. For those that aren't aware, the name Stygian Row comes from the names given to tieflings that arrived in Thalea, and this was where tieflings were thrown or left to like outside of the main the nicer areas, because this stream had been known to flood in past years. That's since been alleviated, but back during the founding of Mitros, that was still a problem. So they just put the tieflings and all other undesirables in this section of the city. Moving down through the small bit of Stygian road that you travel into the Metacles district. And here, this is an area that Prometheus knows very well. This would have been an area where you would have spent a lot of your time, a lot of your youth into adolescence. And you know of one tavern in the area, that a tavern by the name of the Laughing Fox. And as you all approach, you see it's nowhere near as nice as like the main tavern you saw in Astoria, or the inn that you came across on your travel down to Mitros. And Xander, you know it's not as nice as some of the other taverns in the wealthier areas of the city, but it's a nice medium-sized building with red accents all across it, and the sign hanging from the entrance, it just shows a grinning fox on the entrance, like on the swinging sign.
I mean, guys, this is owned by my good friend John. We served on the Tyrene, and he was my quartermaster. Very dependable guy, very stern, very loud. We call him John the Broad. I'm looking forward to, hopefully this place is running well. Hopefully he's all right. Let's go in and grab a pint, some food.
Sure, yeah. Give it a go.
As you enter into this tavern, you see this tavern is surprisingly large for the small. Like it's not big on the outside to look at, but as you enter, you see this goes back a long distance, and you see that there's tables dotted around the place, and there are some servers and other like attendants that work in the tavern that are like writing chairs, making like just pretty much bringing the tavern back alive. There are already some people here that are already filthy, stinking drunk. Even though the tavern has probably been open like a couple of hours at this stage. So I'd say it's about like I'd say it's about 11:30 by the time you get there, in the morning. And this tavern is what all of you would expect for a simple harbor tavern. It's not grimy. There's no filigree or art on the walls or anything like that. It's a simple, bog standard tavern with on the far right wall, pretty much the entirety of the right wall is made up of a bar with this large 6'7" tall man, bald on top, and just barrel chested, huge arms, like to the point where his forearms are the size of like Phoebe's head kind of thing. This guy is huge. And he's just casually cleaning some glasses as he looks at this in disgust at one of the tavern goers that is just passed out already, after maybe having a couple too many shots, judging by the glasses around them, just passed out already on the bar. As you enter, he looks at you, and he's kind of scanning you all just to see, does he recognize any of you? Kind of like an analyzing look before he comes across you. Prometheus goes, Ah, the little whelp is here. Come in. And he kind of gestures to all of you to come in and gestures for you to all take a seat. What
Um,
brings you to my tavern?
Back to see an old friend, of course. As I go reach out and clap hands with him.
This is like clapping hands with a gorilla. This guy, it's the size of his hands are like the size of your face, but he still clasps hands with you, in excitement. He's very happy to see all. It's happy to see you.
We just come from getting rid of that storm. Phoebe over there actually has this beautiful harp you see laid in her arms. We managed to fight back Sidon's storm. How have you been, old friend?
Wow, that was a lot of information you just gave me there. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, tavern's doing well. Oh, ever since we all went our ways, I opened up this place in honor of the goddess Kira, and we seem to be doing pretty well for ourselves now. Granted, the storm did influence our business for a while, but I made sure to keep an eye on the stock of things.
And the goddess Kira. I mean, we've got her in here in our company. If you do not see her over there.
You gestured to Kira, and this big guy just immediately just shrinks, and he's like, he's just, this is just like, it's a moment of him meeting someone he would never, like, it's like meeting a celebrity, where he just completely is tongue-tied. He's like, um, what would you like to drink? Your Majesty? to Kira, he's just like, he doesn't really know how to deal with it. He doesn't know what terms to use. And Kira's just like, your finest red wine, please. at 11:30 in the morning. And he just immediately turns around, ignoring you, Prometheus. It's like now all of a sudden there's a fucking goddess in his pub. He turns around and he grabs like a bottle from a lower shelf, and he blow some dust off of it, and he's then frantically looking for a clean looking, nice looking glass around the tavern, and he finds one eventually, and then you can see he's not used to serving wine, as he pours a little too much into the glass, and then he gently places it in front of Kira. And that'll be no charge at all. He just he doesn't know what to do, and he's looking at you, Prometheus.
So
As Kira's
as well.
takes the glass and starts sipping. She just doesn't have anything she wants to say here.
Old friend, I wonder if we could trouble you for. We're quite hungry. Maybe I know it's a bit early in the morning, but if we could get a few pitchers of ale and any meat,
Course,
we
yeah.
cook some meat and
Yes. The cook. I have my cooks have already started up. We were predicting that after the storm and a lot of people being cooped up in their houses for the last 1 to 2 weeks, that most would be willing to venture outside again and enjoy some of the pleasures of interest. So, yes, I'll make sure you get the good cut of meat as well.
Are any of the old crew about? Are they what have they've been hanging around? Are they?
They pop by every once in a while. I've seen Bron recently. Before the storm, I saw him recently. He travels down from Stygian Row. I don't know much about what he does anymore. Cassandra, she's now up in the temple of the five. She's become a medicine woman up there. As for Hermes, well, I think he went back to the academy. I don't see him anymore. But we never really got along, the two of us.
Yeah, understandable. He's a difficult manifest. And we're looking for some information as well about the city. We're kind of planning our next step. We've heard about there's a Minotaur crisis at the moment, that's maybe causing an upheaval in the city. I'm wondering if you've any other information about that or any other perhaps dangerous bounty contracts or anything like that. Do you know? I know you keep your ear to the ground. Maybe Bronx
I
mentioned
do.
them too. So.
I do. It's most of my information is a bit dated though. I hadn't had many people coming in the last few weeks with the storm, but the some of the rumors that I have heard is there's relating to the Minotaurs. Not really a whole lot to discuss. It's kind of nothing's really changed. I know that the only thing that I do know is that the Nerdagon family have been purchasing Minotaurs for the Great Games.
Nerdicon.
Nerdragon, as in Adonis Nerdragon, the one of the original Dragonlords. His family. I mean, I can. Yeah, shit. I'll spell it out. I'll type it in chat.
And how much is this Minotaur? How much do you buy? How much you need to buy one?
To be honest, I don't know. I've never really dealt in that trade. It's rather vile trade. I know most of the trading goes up in Stygian Row in the Minotaur market. I avoid it to the best of my ability.
You thinking of buying
The
a
only
Minotaur?
other,
What are you thinking of buying a Minotaur?
No, I was just wondering about the cost.
Oh, right.
As for any other rumors that I've heard, we've been seeing a lot of stone statues appearing of late.
Who does it resemble?
People.
Are,
Very
okay.
lifelike people.
Do they look shocked?
Surprised or what?
Like they're like petrified? Are they?
That is a thought, yes, and there's it's most likely the cult of the snake. They are an underground group
Cult?
of ne'er-do-wells, yes. I don't. Once again, I just know what I'm told by patrons. Some are guards that travel through here that have maybe seen them, and they come in here to drown, to drink away the memories.
Would Bron be a good point? Good man to talk about this.
If you can find that fucker, yes.
Will you tell him I was looking for him?
I'll tell him you're in town. Yes.
Yeah,
if you look at he comes by every once in a while. I'll let him know when he comes by that you were looking for him.
Yeah.
At this over the course of this conversation, he'd been serving you all drinks and food, and hold on a sec.
Got Medusa in here.
Yeah.
So yeah, over the course of this, he'd been serving you your drinks, and food had arrived out from the kitchen that was in the back, and the food it's good. It's not nowhere near the quality of what you got in Astoria during King Pithor's feasts, or even the food that you had in the tavern that you traveled through, the inn that you traveled through on your way to Mitros. But it's higher quality than you were expecting. Okay.
Yeah.
Roll. Do you want to roll that out there, Carl?
Yeah, that's good.
You rolling for poison?
He is.
No, rolling for sneak. Oh wait, hold
Or you want to
How
roll
many
sneak first?
times?
Actually, it doesn't matter.
Well, it's like, do you want people seeing or not? That's the question.
I kind of don't care. actually.
Okay, then just roll. Just do the regular rolls then.
It's out of the way.
How many times does this have to happen until he got his immunity?
I'll
Nice.
upload.
250.
Nice.
150
There you go.
times. Yeah. So, what? A 19, a 16, and a 16. They were all successes, so it's only this.
I'm a pain.
What is that? A 6? For 3. All right. So you take 6 damage.
Only 6? Fuck yeah, as well.
Yeah.
How have you got 37 HP?
I have like 16 con.
Fucking hell. All right. Okay.
More than
No
everyone
way.
else.
Yeah, that's true.
We never
All right.
die.
So, as your food is delivered to you, some of you notice, because Carl's not being like subtle about it. You see him kind of putting a little bit of extra seasoning on his food. And as you're watching him, there's a couple of moments where he's just like spluttering a little bit before he just swallows it down over there. But yeah, those of you in the know would know what he's doing. But
I offer it to my friends, as always.
Wait,
wants some?
really?
Who wants some? Who wants some?
Is it?
It would like to partake.
No, thank you.
I just
Really?
reach my hand across the table to Carl as I see him do this, and I see him like kind of maybe grunt or something a little bit as it's hitting his stomach after a few minutes, and I just heal his wounds, discomfort. It's become such a regular thing that it's not even mentioned. It's just kind of just the hand goes over, and I go like Peter's grace, and then that it's healed, you know.
yeah, so you all
Eh,
see like a
if
smaller
we
burst
take
of light
more.
from Prometheus's hand, on Carl's back, or
Thank you,
um,
brother. You should try it sometime. Seriously, it's good.
Sounds like a living nightmare for
I'll
your
give you the-
lungs.
I'll give you the good poison. I've been using the cheap poison so far.
No, I won't take that away from you. I know how much you need it, man.
I'm sure you can get
Um,
some nice tasty poison in the market there as well.
Yeah.
Oh, now that you mention it, yeah. You'll be swimming in poison here.
I also
Um,
think
Oh,
Poisons for kings.
Mm,
And I'm the king.
we should think
You
about
you
what-
might find yourself in the gutter faster than you think. With some of this stuff.
It's a challenge I'm willing to take.
And
especially in this city.
there'll be not too friendly rats around as well, depending on where you are.
Yeah.
you'd be a rat king. Rat King Carl.
Can we find
Or fierce and more fierce.
a big rat?
You know what? Do you want to put ideas in my mind? I can become a rat king if you do truly wish.
You're saying
Do
you
it.
can transform into a
Prometheus?
rat.
Yeah.
Big fucking rat.
Yeah, polymorph's the thing.
But like how
Yeah.
big?
A giant rat.
Oh
The
shit.
thing.
Polymorph now.
All right. So now that you're in the tavern, so I'm gonna roll a d12 to see is there any other rumors you hear.
Yes. Yeah, we're listening around. See.
So just as you're in the tavern, you hear from some of the other people present in the tavern that aren't quite as deep in their cups. They're just kind of gossiping and chatting. You overhear one of them says, "Oh, I heard there was a merchant ship that was meant to be coming into port tomorrow, or a day ago, or whatever it was, and apparently, like a great Shimra, like Chimera or whatever it was, killed them all before that, like when they were in the Cerulean Sea. and you just see the other two people that this guy's sitting with are just like, what the fuck is he talking about?
Jeez.
I was like, oh, there was like a dozen people on that ship, and they're gone.
Did he say it in a way that
Interesting.
the ship came to port with no one on it, or it just
Oh, it was a ship that was scheduled.
okay?
be-
Okay, that'd be
didn't
more
arrive.
spooky though.
But that's something that you overhear.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Okay. Interesting. So, guys, I mean, we have a few things we need to do. Not sure what way order we do it. We have the Minotaurs. We have to investigate the cult of the snake. We want to go to the academy and maybe also on the way to the academy, do a bit of a speech in the Great Agora, get some attention, get some buzz going. We need to go to the market.
We could probably
Is there anything
do the academy, the agora, and the market in like one go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm down. Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay,
Where
so
we
where
from?
to first?
The Agora on the
Academy.
way,
Academy.
or the market.
Which one is on the way?
Okay, let me just zoom out a second here. So you traveled from the palace where the academy is behind,
Oh shit.
down through to the harbor pretty much, and then on the map you can see there's a road that leads to the Commerce Gate, where leads kind of it's uphill from the Metacles district, uphill that leads around to the Commerce Gate, where inside is Great Gardens, Great Agora, the Vault of Thalea, which is the two those native to Mitros would know is the bank, the courts, the Bathhouse of Valis is present there too. This is all in the Alexia district, and then most famously, the most famous estate in that is not the Great Palace is the Nerdagon estate, is also present in this district. So the question is, do you want to move, like you're kind of following a road out of the Metacles district up into this kind of commerce area, and then you have to go back across down through Stygian Row into back up to the academy?
I think that sounds like a good route to go. We go visit the marketplace as well on the way.
Okay. Do I have a map for the marketplace?
Welcome, Carl.
Welcome, Cahill.
Welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Howdy, howdy.
Shit. I think I forgot where I put my map for. What use this?
I just
Fuck,
updated you,
damn it.
Carl. We're in a tavern right now, and we got some rumors. One about a boat that was scheduled to arrive a day or two ago, but rumored to have been taken out by like a giant sea monster or a kraken, or
Ooh.
and there's also another rumor that there are people been turned to stone in the city by a cult of snakes.
Oh, shit.
Cult,
Hold on. I'm just gonna make. Didn't have this one fully
Oh,
prepared.
my God.
So good one.
A bit of a stretched image. I'll have to fix this, but it'll do. I'll put you all on it. Now this is not probably not going to be the proper image that I use, but
Dan,
yes.
I'm seeing some text that I'm kind of guessing we're not supposed to see
What is
on the homepage.
homepage? Universal screen homepage. Oh yeah, what about it? This
Are we
is
supposed to
this
see
is
that?
the old homepage that
Oh, okay.
that we used.
Cool.
Where's the main menu is where the other stuff is. I should get rid of that universal.
That's talking about the basilisk skull, so that's fine.
I just actually
Yeah. I was just making sure.
That was.
yeah, it was something like I never.
We're just saying it. We're on episode 30 right now.
Oh,
Damn.
Um,
I'm just
why don't hear
we
dice?
grinded.
What's wrong with dice?
I think.
Oh, sorry, I am.
Dan's running
It's
dice.
just like NPCs.
Ow.
In case we
Okay.
murder him.
It's just the generic thing. It's like it rolls. You know, there's every all HPs for everyone that is not you is randomized pretty much. So just putting out some to make it look a little bit more populated, but I'll have to fix this up in a bit. But you enter into the Great Agora. This Great Agora serves as the heart of both the Noble District and Mitros itself. You see a multitude of vendors selling all kinds of goods from across the continent. Their stalls are protected from the elements by rows of narrow roofed structures supported by columns. Sprawled out beyond the Great Agora are a number of large private estates, bathhouses, and temples. You see huge marble roofed colonnades, providing shelter from the sun and the weather, and 12-foot statues of the five watch from the edges of the agora. And in the center, a new statue looks like newer than the five gods. Of Sidon stands in the center, and it towers higher than any of the statues of the five. You see merchants from all over Thalea. So some that look slightly more bronze-skinned from those that you'd associate more with Astoria to the north. Some more like weather-beaten skin that you'd associate with people with fishermen or those of those that kind. The flamboyantly dressed Mitrosi, and some Arisian-looking, more stern-looking individuals in like slightly like less flowing robes. Looking around, you see all manner of goods can be found here, from foodstuffs such as fish, meat.
Did you say feet?
Yeah, I read fish.
I'm sure
meat
you
is
can
one
find
word.
some meat.
I
Beef.
want some feet,
Wine.
baby. Cheese. And then animals are available here, such as cows, goats, sheep. Pottery is available, clothes, bronze equipment that you might need. There are also large shops dotted around the place. The ones of particular note are Grimmick's Armory. It's a large shop in a prominent location. That like has a more kind of blacksmith kind of vibe to the outside. Another one called Zoran's Concoctions. It's tucked away in a corner of the agora. And then you see another one like under one of these like under one of these large 12-foot tall pillars. You see a large tent with a sign reading "The Great Menagerie," where inside you see dozens of cages lining the inside of this tent, just from walking by.
Guys, before we all separate to the market, there's something I want to do for for our fame as well as to spread the story. The truth will happen.
I will say, as you enter, you do, and it's like it is busy here. It's not represented well on the map here, but it is very busy. You see people kind of moving around, like haggling over random foodstuffs. Some people trying to get like better deals on what looks to be some cutlery from one of these stalls. But one thing you do hear over the sound, over the general hubbub of this marketplace, you do hear what sounds to be a town crier, proclaiming, King Acastus and those prophesized to rescue Thalea have rectified the storm that plagues the city, in such a way that appeases, O Lord Sidon, the Lord of Storms, and it continues on in such a way as to portray Acastus in a better light, while still giving credit to you, but more credit to Acastus.
Okay.
Well, and also not doing nothing to disparage Sidon at all.
True. Okay. I am.
You're all mentioned though.
All mentioned. I'm gonna ask for Phoebe's help here. Phoebe, I need your help with a bit of performance. My plan is to go up there. I'm gonna take over from the town crier, and I want you to play some nice background music with that harp, get some attention. Really build up the vibe. I want some epic to go with the speech, and
I can do a little drum beat with it if you want.
I like that as well.
So that he can maybe do an assist instead of me having to roll. He can like get advantage if you want, or
yeah.
Well, so by the sounds of things, two of you will be doing some music, and one of you's making a speech, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that means either Phoebe can roll with advantage, or the two of you roll for a performance.
Who is the best performance here?
I think probably Phoebe does.
Probably Phoebe, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Probably me.
Probably Phoebe then.
I have good performance.
I've got a +7.
Okay, yeah, that's really good.
Oh, definitely. So okay, let's go for it. And we're gonna make our way through the crowd, and we're gonna move our way up to the town crier. I'm gonna find a point where he's. I'm gonna be.
This is a young enough guy standing on a box.
On a box, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm going to I'm gonna be going up to him, and I'm gonna find when he's taking a breath of air, and I'm just going to grab him by the shoulder. I'm gonna say, "Young man, get down from there. I have something more."
He's mid speech, and he's kind of in the middle of talking about some other news about like it's kind of the prices of fish have decreased because of the storm. There was some flooding, and fish there was some flooding, and the fish got stuck in the docks, and it meant it's more fish now, so it's cheaper fish. He started off with the big news, and then it's kind of the less important stuff is being discussed. So yeah, he's in the middle of kind of giving a brief kind of like Financial Times breakdown of some stuff that's going on, and as you kind of pull him, and he looks down, and he goes, "Sorry, what did you want?" Look to you, Prometheus.
Oh, young man, I have something more vital. We are the heroes of after saving the city. I need to make a speech, and I need your assistance with this to step down.
Okay, make a persuasion check.
I want to make this more of an intimidation check because of there's three of us heavily armored. I have a wolf headdress and stuff, so it's like this massive wolf head guy. Let's go with the two of us backing up.
Wait, hold on a sec.
We got Xander up
Yeah,
behind.
it doesn't make a difference. You have the same modifier for
Yeah,
both.
true.
Like, a 13. He before he steps down. What did you want? What do you want? I can proclaim something for you if you wish. Like why? What do you? Why do you want to step up?
I think it's better coming from the mouth of the heroes. I think that's the plan. You know, it sounds a little bit better. Anyway, I'm gonna step up to the box.
Before he steps down, it's not big enough for the two of you. But before he steps down, he's not like he's not against you. Like it's a 13, so he's listening. But you get the impression he holds out a hand. It's like 5 silver, and yes, sure, you can hop up.
I'm not gonna pay you 5 silver. You owe us a of gratitude for saving your city.
Gratitude? Why would I owe you?
We saved your city, you dense fuck. Now get down from the box.
Okay, now it's an intimidation check.
Okay. Okay, it's a little better.
22. Hold on. Now there are guards present.
It's alright with me.
Yeah, they don't notice. They don't see you. They don't see what's going on. So he's suitably cowed enough to just hastily take a step off the box. And he's kind of looking around to see, did anyone notice him step off? Because he gets paid to stand on a box and read out news. And he's currently not standing on the box reading out news. So he's kind of looking around to see, is anyone noticing that he's not on that box anymore? But go ahead. What do you? So are Phoebe and Xander making performance checks, building up some tension here, or?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is it advantage for Phoebe?
Is it advantage for Phoebe? Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay. Performance. Who 19?
Damn.
I've never seen that before.
Well, now you have. You're welcome.
Wow.
That's a curse right there.
Okay.
Double 90.
So are you what instrument are you using? Are you using the harp?
I feel like that is appropriate. Yes, I'll use the harp.
Okay. So this is some of the most beautiful music that any of you have ever heard. And it's just Phoebe plucking away on a harp. And at first, Phoebe, it's a moment of, are you familiar with how to play a harp? But then as you kind of start getting used to it, you start to get into a flow. And then you heard Boreas when he was still alive, strumming on the harp. And even just the small little bits that he was doing sounded very pleasant to your ears. But now that you have a skilled hand playing on the harp, it's majestic. There's nothing quite like it for you that any of you have heard. And the slight little drumming from Xander behind seems to kind of mesh well with the rhythm and the melody that you're playing. Everyone is starting to notice you, the two of you now, and they all see Prometheus standing on the box.
Okay.
Even you, Prometheus, take a moment as you step up on the box and you hear this like beautiful music, and you just kind of look down and you're like, holy fuck, where did that come from? 26, Jesus Christ.
Okay. By the way, just before we start, did we agree? What was our party name, by the way? Did we go with Cornerstone or did we go for something else?
Or the Oracle's Chosen, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, Oracle's Chosen, I think that's what you want.
Okay, Oracle's Chosen. Okay. So, As you all can hear this, I'll keep this to short main points, so we don't waste too much time with this. But as you can all hear the beautiful harp being played there by one of the saviors of Mitros. She is one of 6 of the oracles chosen. We came rushing from Astoria after saving the princess of Astoria down at the king's plea for help, to help save the city of Mitros, not for him, but for the people of Mitros, to try and save you all. This harp, scared off the weather of Sidon to leave this city and the people alone, and to remember us, who will continue to do everything we can to save the mortal realms. And I'm going to list out the names of the party as well, and I'm going to point to Xander, and I'll just say some of the deeds for each of the people in the party. I know there's only 3 of us there, and at the end, I am going to and will continue to fight off the scourge, trying to destroy the peace in the realms and get this peace really back. And I'm going to dragon roar up into the air at the end.
Okay. Oh, you're gonna cast a dragon roar in the afterwards at the end.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's kind of building up because Xander's building up the drum beats.
Yeah.
It's getting louder and louder.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
Phoebe's getting more hectic into it.
Yeah. Like, just because of the insane performance roll from Phoebe, and you're using your channel divinity, are you?
Yeah.
Okay. So in that case, you get advantage on this performance check because you are making a performance to a large crowd. How effective is your speech at reaching the crowd? The DC has been lowered significantly by both the dragon, by like the performance from both musicians. So there you go.
Okay, that's
18 for a 22. The people of Mitros are not hard to please at the best of times. At the worst of times, a lot of them are simple people. But the maybe 500 to 1,000 people that are currently in the Agora now are all paying rapt attention to the music at first, and then to you, Prometheus, as you give your speech. And at the end, after your dragon's roar, there's a moment of shocked silence because the members of the crowd, the members of the crowd that would have would have seen the king's dragons, would have only seen them from overhead. They would never have heard a dragon's roar, and to hear that, like, right in front of them, coming from a human, they all are just shocked into silence before everyone just starts bursting into raucous amounts of cheers and claps and applause for the whole group of you. Very
so
successful.
can that be the inspiring speech as well?
So you're giving that for 10 minutes.
Yeah, we'll do 10 minutes. Yeah, pretty much. But just one point I wish I'd said this before the Dragon's Roar, but it's kind of meant I wanted to say that we were the servants, and we're the oracles chosen, and we're the servants of the god Mitros, who we devote our acts for. Is it possible to do that just before or have I
Yeah,
already
you
done?
can put that in. You can say you said that in there.
Yeah.
Because you have 10 minutes of speech. Jesus, that's a fucking long speech to give to a huge crowd of people. And it's only because, 1, there was a 26-year-old, and 2, there was a 22-year-old, that you were able to maintain a crowd of, let's put it mildly, not the, like, they're a crowd of, like, pretty much middle-aged middle ages people. Like, or, like, just being able to hold their attention long enough is an impressive feat. But
Have you guys seen Knight's Tale by chance? The movie. It's a real funny medieval movie.
with Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
I know
Part
what
of
you're
it,
talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's just, they cheer for no matter what's going on.
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah, very successful speech. Now, I think someone mentioned Okay, so Leia is looking for unmanned shops while Prometheus is performing. What do you mean by unmanned shops?
So merchants are just very engrossed in this whole performance, and merchants who are selling things, substantial, valuable things.
There are a few stalls that look like they might be selling like finer things, like finer cloths or clothing.
And look for
Gems. There are no stalls that are selling gems. No stalls. You get the feeling that if you wanted gems, you have to go into one of the actual stores that like are dotted around. Because let's be honest, not many stalls are going to be selling a gem for 200 gold pieces just sitting on a stall in the middle of a bustling agora. It's just it's ready for someone for some random pickpocket to just take it off the table.
What about dodgy potions?
You get the impression that the small little shop in the corner of the agora, called Zoran's Concoctions, probably sells potions.
I go over to Zoran's Concoctions.
Yeah, inside this, it's a small shop. It's kind of like a hole in the wall kind of shop. And the inside of it is dark and dusty. And the walls you see are stocked with bottles of all kinds. You see behind like a small counter, a older looking gnome that just looks to be kind of writing in a little ledger as you open the door into his shop. He looks with, "Hi, how can I help you?"
Your shop looks interesting. What do you have in here?
I have potions and concoction.
Did you make them yourself?
I did indeed.
What can you do with this? I hold out the eyeball that I have been carrying with me.
What for? Which eyeball are we talking about? For what
The
creature? The
the
Gigan.
Demetrius guard.
That was like
10 years ago.
it's like 4 months ago. No, a month ago or something like that in game. Holy fuck.
Yeah, what can you do with this? Like you're
So you're holding up a bag with an eyeball in it.
I tried to preserve it as best I could with cling wrap.
If it was in,
But you didn't have a fridge.
if it was in vinegar and in a jar.
It's in the storm, you know. It has my sweat, dirt.
Okay, you present it in a bag and you put it down on the desk, and as you put it down, it's like when you like a bag full of water that just kind of squishes when you put it on the desk. It's like a little kind of squishing noise as you plop it down on the desk, and he just looks at it. He opens it. No, I don't think I can do anything with that. If it was fresh, maybe. And he kind of looks again, and he's like, "No."
Can we blend this into a concoction of something?
If you want to kill someone, maybe.
Yeah, can you help me do that? Put it in a bottle.
It would probably give him food poisoning. He's just kind of staring at this. He's fascinated because it's just a big, like, liquefying eyeball, like the size of like a hand. And it's just kind of liquefying. It's like slowly liquefying in the bag. The bag itself is now like soggy at the bottom. He's kind of looking. He's like, "Oh, I don't think I could really use this for anything or make anything with this. Like it's
That's
it's about as
okay.
good as a poison as like rotting meat is. It's
You should give it to
Ew.
Carl.
What about this? I picked the weed that we plucked from Demetrius' garden. Like,
Oh yeah. Let me go looking back for that.
or like the truth serum
Mhm.
weed or
Mhm.
something.
Let me find the exact description. So where was it? Yeah. You hand it to him and he looks at it. Oh yeah, I can make truth serum with this. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, how much do you think it'll cost to make it?
Well, given that you're giving me some of there's how much do you have? And I can tell you how, because I can do a discount based on how much you're giving me and how much you want in return. Like, if you're giving me 30 doses worth of this plant, and you say you want like 20, and I keep the 10, that takes a large chunk off the price.
I'll give you 2 pieces leaf and this eyeball for 2 potions of truth serum.
So, you want me to make the potion?
Yes,
So you're giving me two doses worth
2 doses worth.
to make the 2 potions, and
Yes.
you can keep the eyeball. I don't want the eyeball. Let me just, where the fuck did it go? Yeah. He'll do that. He just thinking here. How much would that
Give
cost?
you 1 gold pieces.
Well, considering you're giving me the main ingredients just to work for brewing it, which with truth serum, a bit of a difficult one to work with sometimes. I'd say 50 gold pieces each.
50, you say?
Yeah. Normally I'd sell truth serums for maybe 250 each, if
What
not
if
more.
I get you the bottle as well?
He just gestures to the walls of his store where it's just lined with bottles.
But this bit of out of the context of how many doses do you have, Jasmine?
I think I have like 1,000,000 leaves. I
No.
don't know how many leaves equals to 1 dose.
Oh,
How many doses?
you collected. It's a fungus that you collected. So I think you spent a couple of hours doing it. So you have, if I
You have
remember correctly, you have like 6 or 7 doses worth of spread between yourself and Carl, I believe. Maybe I can't remember off the top of my head. It was a while ago. So
Okay, you can make a lot of money off that. You know, you make 5 doses, you give him 2 of them, 2 of the extra ones, and you sell them for 250 a pop, or 200 or something. Yeah, 250.
Yeah, but he's selling it for himself, not for us. As
He'll
in
probably give you most of them.
50 for 2 truth serum.
each.
I'll give you 50 each. It's a bit too much for the savior of your town, though. That's the thing.
You want to haggle like that? Okay.
I also bring out my alcohol that.
Well, you took 2. Like the alcohol. Like how much alcohol did you
It's a
take
bottle.
from the bottle?
Yeah.
I'd say half of it was drunk by the Menaids
Boreas.
and Boreas.
Since he's a
They-
gnome, he's probably small. I take like 1 shot for him. Have this booze with me, and we can talk about prices.
I'm good. I don't drink liquids that other people give me.
That's very smart of you as a potion maker.
Exactly. So you want to haggle them down to what?
40.
40 each. Okay. Persuasion check. God damn it, you're all rolling insane. 23. He's like, I suppose I could do a discount on this, yeah. 40 each, and I'll brew them for you. You'll have to come back. They take like 2 days to brew. So you have to come back then.
Do I sense that he's truthful? That he's not
You
gonna
want
scam
insight
me? He's not gonna move his potion shop away? Rug me?
27. Okay, so with the 27, you pretty much you zone in, like a moment of like the moment he says that, you just zone in on him and you're just picking up all of the micro expressions on his face, and you're figuring out so much about how this guy works. He is very much a recluse. He is not, you're getting the impression he's not a very good businessman. Or well, he lets his work do the all the business for him. Like it's all about reputation for him. He makes good stuff, makes good potions, and people come and buy him. But he doesn't have any real form of social skills other than that. And he comes across as truthful in that it will take 2 days. And actually that he was giving you a fair price for the work involved. And he might like the price he was originally saying that he'd sell them for might have been a bit steep, but like a completed potion, like you get the impression that 250 was a little bit on the expensive side. But he's truthful. He's not used to conversation. So you seem like you got a good deal out of this.
Alrighty, I trust you. Nice talking to you. Also, I have a little cupcake for you. Take a cupcake. Thank you for all the hard work. I'll be back in 2 days.
He takes the cupcake, and he just he doesn't eat it or anything. He just takes it and just puts it into into a satchel that he has on his side.
How old is the cupcake?
I mean, it's not that old.
Like a week.
It's a week old.
You got it in Astoria, right?
And it could be soggy, no?
It's like 2 weeks old.
It's nice and safe. Not next to the eyeball that's rotting.
I know how to not contaminate things.
You should teach me that sometimes.
Oh no. Oh no.
Alright, Dio. I'll see you later when I get out.
Bye, miss.
My name's Leia, by the way, and I just go.
I'm Zarin, as you leave. Okay, so that was Leia. Carl cast Detect Thoughts, looking while in the crowd, while Prometheus, Xander, and Leia Prometheus, Xander, and Phoebe were doing their performance. You're casting Detect Thoughts. It's like surface level thoughts. What specifically are you looking for?
On the surface. So
okay,
every
hold
action.
On. Wait, let me just read the wording of Detect Thoughts here.
Oh, it's a big one.
Okay, so for the 1 minute that it's that you have the spell active, you can focus your mind on any creature in 30 feet of you.
Yeah.
And it's just surface thoughts unless you want to delve deeper. Okay?
Yeah. Just surface thoughts. I'm trying to look for people who look like they're very excited to spend a lot of money, and I want to get an idea of like how much money they're actually going to spend based on their surface level thoughts, i.e.,
Okay.
kind of big purchases.
In that case, make a perception check to see who might be. For fuck's sake. 17. You see, there's a lot of people that are excited to be out in the Agora again. And especially a lot of people that are kind of paying attention to the distraction that 3 of your party members are doing. And you do notice some people that look to be like their money burning a hole in their pocket, maybe. So there's like dotted around you within a near enough proximity. There's maybe like 3 or 4 that look like they're a bit wealthier, and maybe not all immediately there,
Okay.
distracted as well. So
We'll
you
we'll
cast detect
focus
thoughts
on
on them. Those 4 people.
Yeah, we'll see who has the most money or who's most the next person who's most likely to buy something, make a purchase, and taking the money out.
Okay.
And then I'm going to relay the information to my owl that's hiding in the fucking rooftop somewhere to get ready and to slowly get closer.
Okay. Okay, so the thoughts of the first individual are very much this is like a somewhat older looking woman. Hair starting to go a bit grey. Her robes once looked a bit nice. Like they looked like fancy, but maybe a little bit overworn. And she's just looking at Prometheus up on the box as he's giving his speech, and she's got her hands in front of her on her stomach as she's watching. And as you're looking, as you look at her and cast detect thoughts, the first thoughts that come across are just like, damn, he's fit. Just staring at Prometheus and like, and she's thinking, I'm gonna have to go to the Siren's Roost again. And she's just like, you're starting to think that she's not really thinking about buying anything because of the nature of the distraction. She's thinking of like, she saw Prometheus giving this speech and captivating everyone's attention, and then all of a sudden her thoughts start going like, just kind of on a surface level, they start going down like a slightly more lecherous route.
We move to someone less thirsty.
Okay, you move across to a young enough guy who's like watching it. He's like, this is interesting. I was like, it's kind of along the lines of he was thinking of thinking like enjoying what's going on. But he's also like, I need to get some new sandals. And he's just thinking about, he's like, I'm gonna go to the good stall over there. And like, it's like, I know guys make some good sandals. And he's thinking in his head about like, he's entertained by what's going on, but he's also thinking like, I need new shoes pretty much. And he wants to get the good shit. Third guy is middle-aged guy, somewhat fine looking clothing. And he's paying attention, but he's mainly actually looking at Phoebe. And his thoughts are along the lines of her thoughts are along the line of his thoughts are along the line of oh, I didn't know they let satyrs into the city anymore. Anyway, let's see if my daughter wants a pet. As he's kind of looking in the direction of the Great Menagerie tent that you see. And then the final one looks to be a servant of a kind. But like just based on the way their posture and their stance is, he looks to be on an errand, and he's been caught up in the speech from the others, and he's he looks to be on an errand, and it's kind of hard to tell from his thoughts what it is. Just like all you're hearing, he was told to go to this stall, he was told to do this, pay this amount of money, which is considerable amount, near on like 175 gold pieces for something that he was told would be in a package, and he'd bring it back to his master.
Off the top of what do I know? Would I know generally how much like exotic pets cost? The sandals are nothing. I'm assuming
Exotic pets
because he's gone to the
can
Nazi
go
show, right?
for as little as 5 gold pieces or as much as 500.
All right, we're gonna hone in on that fucking servant.
Okay. So you hone in on the servant, and you see him moving through the crowd. He's like, as he's moving, he is watching what's going on, and he is enjoying Prometheus's speech as he's moving through. But he's still like on a mission through the crowd. I'll say by this stage, you detect thoughts is gone.
Yep.
And you're moving through. You're following him like from a distance. So he's distracted, so you don't need to make stealth checks. Sorry. You see him come up to a stall, which the merchant that's there is also watching the speech, and the servant comes up to him. Some words are exchanged. Make a perception check to see how much you hear. Are the dice rigged today or something? Because you guys, I think there was only one roll below a 15 all day today.
Shit, let's go.
Natural 20. Okay, what do you hear? You hear the servant. You pretty much hear all of it. You hear the servant step up to the merchant. Merchant is like it's middle-aged, like tan-skinned, bit of a goatee, short black hair. The servant is like young enough, like 18, 19-year-old boy. And the servant steps up and goes, Marcos Gara, are you the man I meant to deal with? And the merchant who'd been watching you goes, you're one of Nerdagon's, right? And the servant responds, yes, I was told to pay you this and you give me the package. And he goes, oh yes, and he turns and he picks up like a package about like that big. And it's kind of like a wooden, like a box, like somewhat like a box, but it's wrapped in some fur. And he passes it over to the servant. The servant gives him a pouch of money. Before the servant just nods his head and turns and walks back in the direction of exiting the market in a southerly direction, in the direction of what you know to be Nerdagon's estate.
Before, like in the middle of that, as the money is being exchanged, I would retroactively like to have told my owl to slowly get closer onto the rooftops in anticipation of swooping it as it's getting exchanged.
Okay. Yeah.
A bit of a 4D gaming there, is it?
Yeah. No, I don't mind this. Eris can get in range, so she's going to have to make a
Dexterity, is it?
Swooping check.
It's a swooping check. Yeah, swooping. It's probably going to be. What would this be? I'm just looking through the list of things. It would probably be a sleight of hand is the closest, because she's trying to get through to grab something from another person's hand. Okay. Well, I'll just do the roll here. It's public. I can click on her.
Fucking 7.
Unfortunate.
Oh, me.
So you see Eris come flying down in the direction, and as the servant is putting the pouch of money into the merchant's hand, and Eris comes swooping down, and as the merchant sees this flash of white, and immediately recoils back after the money hit his palm, as Eris just flies in between the two of them, and then darts off into the having missed the pouch. And the merchant's like, "What the fuck was that?" And then he just looks to the servant and just beckons the servant off.
Alright, look at him next time. I tell Eris to meet me at the spot later on, so she doesn't come back to me right away.
Okay. All right. Anything else you guys want to do in
I
Igora?
would like to sell my seed from
Mirror.
Mirror.
Disgusting dog.
Yeah.
Oh.
You want to sell your seed? Okay. Sell your seed. That can come across so wrong. So you have a seed of a tree from Mirror.
Yeah.
And you want to sell it in a random market. Okay.
Well, okay.
I'm just telling you, like, you literally have one of the few.
Should I sell? No, okay. No. I'm thinking of selling it, but I don't
No,
know.
don't. It's better in combat.
Is
Use
it?
it in combat.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, rather more so. I think that's a better idea, to find out its uses. That's what I'd like to find out.
So you find some stalls that are selling plants. Some of them are just flowers that young romantics might take, or potted plants that people would want to decorate their homes with. You find one of these stalls. You rock up to it, and it's just like an elderly-looking woman behind the stall. She goes, "How can I help you, dear?"
I was on my travels there, a far away near where was it now? It's past Astoria, and now, but
oh yes,
I found a seed. I'm wondering if you might be able to identify it for me.
She takes you hand it over. Do you hand it over to her?
I show her. I just
Okay.
Yeah.
She leans forward as you show it to her, and she kind of she squints an eye at. She's looking at it. Oh, staring at it. And she's staring at it. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this before. Was it a part of a tree, or was it a plant, or what was it?
It was part of a tree in Mirror.
Oh. The moment you say mirror, it's just a moment of, and she's just staring at that. Oh, this is way above my capabilities. I know someone in the academy that might know a bit more about that. And she's just thinking for a second, as I think for a second.
Okay. Yeah.
It would be okay. I know that the head of the transmutation school up in the academy, Chalkoda, she has a interest in plants. She might be someone to like show this to. I don't. It's something like that. I have never seen it before. I don't know how you'd grow it or how to care for such a plant. So I wouldn't. I fear it's beyond my capabilities.
No, that's very helpful. I gave her 2 silver just for a little bit of information.
She just takes. Oh, that's very grateful. Would you like a rose?
Yeah, sure. I'll take a rose.
She hands you a rose.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Okay.
So, what was the name? Is
Chalcora.
Chalcora. Thank you. If you can hear Milo barking, let me know.
Not really.
Okay.
Anything else you guys want to do in the Great Agora?
Can I go talk to Carl?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Carl, what have you been doing? You been up to some mischief over there, you know?
Oh, what's her problem? What's her problem? That was a good speech, man.
Yeah.
I loved it. It's just enough
Thanks,
distraction for me to get some information from the crowd.
Oh, that's good. Did you get any interesting information?
Yeah. That guy who's moving away over there, the servant, he has some kind of package in his hand worth at least 175 gold. That
Yeah.
old dude over there is buying something for his daughter. And that girl over there, she's like thirsty. She's looking at you the whole time. I don't know where she is now. I don't know if she's still there.
Is she? Yeah, here, get on my shoulders real quick.
All right. I hop on the shoulders.
Yeah, it's a bit like Carl's light enough where you can easily put him on your shoulders, Prometheus. Carl, you wanna make another perception check, Carl? Is that right?
Yeah. All right.
Okay, let's see if you spot the old woman that was thirsty. 11. As you're on Prometheus's shoulders, looking over the crowd. You don't see her anymore.
Let's hear.
Oh, that's so sad.
Fuck. All right, you just missed it. All right, there's this thirsty little girl, a thirsty old woman who's like looking at you real funny, but she's going off to the what was it called? The Snow Goose? No, she's going off
Siren's
somewhere.
Roost.
Yeah, the Siren's Roost.
Oh
So
man,
if you wanna get your bid on today, she's definitely interested in you, but also she's kind of old.
well, it was more the money. I need to afford some plate armor, man. So I'll do what needs to be done, for the
Oh,
cause.
she's old and lonely. I think she has money. I think she has the right amount of money for us to get our stuff.
I think we can
Well,
we can
I
double
will
team this.
I will say, those of you from Mitros who know, the Siren's Roost is a very expensive brothel.
Oh.
Yeah, we might be able to intercept her if she's making a trip there.
You want it? I mean, she shouldn't have left for more than a few minutes. I don't know how far away with this. We should be able to catch up with her.
We could. Just before we go, is there anything else we should do first? Probably the quicker the better.
I'm probably prepped to go to the academy if anyone else is.
Okay. No one else wants to do anything?
Next.
Okay. You're all
I
done?
was doing
All
some
done with
sleight
your
of hand in the. I was doing some sleight of hand in the background while they were performing, but apart from that, I got a
Were you
10.
trying to pickpocket people or?
Yeah, I got a 10. I don't know if that was enough. To,
No.
like, find that was
No,
it, really.
because people's passives are higher. So what are you trying to do? You're trying to.
No, that was it. But I
Okay.
failed, so I don't know if people would have seen it in the crowds. Other than
Okay.
that, I'm happy to go to the academy.
So you're trying to look around, pickpocket through the crowds, and you don't. Everyone's clutching their money a bit tighter, just because first day back in the Agora, everyone's kind of like, making sure, like, any money that they do have, they want to make sure that they actually can use it. And you're not quite as subtle as you think you are. In one case, when you bump against someone, they look at you a little distrustfully, but you don't get anything out of it. All right, so you're going to the academy now?
Yeah. Before we go, was there any kind of like magical, like expensive magical stole or anything?
Not
I
immediately visible, no.
Okay.
Is there anything there that like could point us in the direction of a dragon egg or anything like that? No.
Nope.
What?
A
Like if
dragon
there's-
egg in the Agora. Nothing jumped out to you.
Okay.
Are you in
selling
search of
dragon
dragon egg? Right? Bigger.
Huh?
Are you in search of a dragon egg, are you?
I'm just curious about them, man. They seem pretty cool, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I like mine, man. You can give mine a little rub if you want. But
If I sit on it, you know, during my long rest, maybe that's what I'll do.
I don't want your fat ass breaking it, bro. That's all I'm saying.
Is the
Might turn
academy
blue, you
far
never know.
away?
Yeah, you got to go back up towards the palace.
Shit. Okay.
Um, so
Can we keep an eye out for the old lady in case she's
Carl's the only one that's seen her, so it would be on him to spot her.
well,
Hey, Carl,
can
do you
you keep
think
an
I
eye out?
should? Carl, do you think I should charm someone? Try to charm someone, just to kind of give them the incentive that maybe they were into Prometheus, you know, and then
No.
boom,
I mean,
no, play with his
There-
feelings.
wait, for you to charm someone to be into Prometheus.
Yeah, but it would be like temporary. But I get to control them.
Charmed makes them your best friend.
Oh,
Your
okay.
best friend.
Oh, okay, never mind. So I can't like if they're my best friend, I can't influence them to be into.
Guys, I'm not just trying to get laid. I'm trying to it's a bit
You
of a
can blue
difference
ball Prometheus.
It's a bit of a loophole, yeah.
here.
Okay.
Let's get going. Let's get going to the academy.
Okay. So as you leave the Great Agora, you pass by the Great Gardens, which are just all you see is a ring of bright green, luscious trees, kind of ringing a wall. The entrance is a little further to the south. But as you leave the Great Agora, you're passing through the Commerce Gate, and you see like a train, like pretty much a train of caravans and carts, both exiting and entering through the Commerce Gates in the direction of the Agora. The Agora is huge, and what you did, you gathered yeah, you had a good time there, just roaming around. Moving out of the Commerce Gate, you have to travel down south the road that leads into the road that you followed down into the Metacles district, then up through Stygian Row into the Cosmopole district, and then up the ramp that leads to the Royal Gate again. Once again, you pass by the Temple of the Five on the right-hand side, Temple of Sidon on the left, and instead of going up the path leading towards the palace, you pass by to the left of that path, leading in the direction of the academy. As you approach the academy, you see a sprawling campus branch out in front of you, and you see these grounds bustling with activity. Over a dozen impressive marble buildings stand in rows, connected by paved, well-maintained pathways. Rich green lawns stretch between the pathways, and scholars can be seen reading, writing, and hotly debating all manners of subjects. Approaching the academy, you come to a split in the road, and Kira chimes in, saying, "Where do you want to go? There's the Great Library, the Hall of Heroes, Schools of the Arcane, the Great Orrery, or the Hall of Debate. Where do you want to go?"
I like that. I like the sound of that arcane. Not gonna lie.
We could go our own ways, because I think I want to try find this head of transmutation.
Yeah, I'd be down.
Oh, if you want to find the head of transmutation, she'd be in the Schools of the Arcane.
Yeah. Oh.
What were the options again, Kira?
The Great Library.
Okay. What would be in
where,
there? Like just books and anything like specific
book.
that we should look
it's from it like there's scrolls and books on knowledge like about flora and fauna, alongside like metallurgy and other pretty much anything you can imagine has something in there.
like your own history, like maybe my history or someone else's history, or just history like more
you might be better off going to
of
the
the
Hall of
city?
Heroes for that kind of thing,
Ah, okay.
because that's where heroic exploits have been written down and recorded from all of the heroes from Thalea's past. alongside busts of those that can be found. Alongside, the hall is where I spent. The Hall of Heroes is where I've spent a lot of my time here because, like, there's the scrolls of histories and songs, some of which I've written, and some that are inspired by what I've written. So I like to spend my time there and peruse all of that. And then you got the Great Orrery. That's a weird place. Like that's where the study of the arcane and the different planes of existence is done. Hall of Debate is where you'll find a lot of the people, in all honesty. Because the academy here, a lot of the school, the approach to magic that a lot of them find is around debating philosophy. And then you got the schools of the arcane, which are just 8 buildings devoted to each of the different arcane studies.
Ooh. What do you guys think? I'm thinking I'm gonna go to the Hall of Heroes. If people want to separate, I'm totally down if you've got different interests.
What would
I don't
be
know.
in the Great Library?
Pretty
Other than the
much anything, really. There's sections that are on flora and fauna. There's sections on, like, for example, metallurgy, alchemy, medicine, cartography, anything along that kind of line. History, like history relating to specific individuals tends to be in the Hall of Heroes. History of the land and all of that kind of stuff tends to be in the Great Library. Anything specific to a school of magic would be in that school. If you want to look at some of the weirder side of things, then the orrery might be an idea. And then if you just want to, if you're looking for sometimes if you want to debate some like magical topics about stuff, or your interpretation of historical events or anything like that, then the Hall of Debates would be where to go.
I'll follow you to the Hall of Heroes later.
Yeah, I might go there too. Seems like a pretty good place, to be honest.
Okay. I'm just gonna activate the splash screen just.
I'm assuming these are in the academy. Like I'm looking at the map. I'm assuming it's
Yeah.
in the actual academy itself, up
Yeah.
in that top section. Okay, cool.
Yeah. It's that whole section of Academius. That's like all these buildings.
Oh, okay, cool. And the fork you were talking about, is that like the fork I'm seeing there that goes up to the academy, or is that just a different fork?
That's a different. So like you see, if you scroll down, you'll see like the temple where the Temple of Sidon and the Royal Gate and Temple of
Yeah.
Five is, and there's like a path that leads up into the steps towards the Archon Basilius.
Yeah.
That leads up to the Great Palace, but if you go to the left by the Temple of Sidon and then just go straight.
Okay, so we're currently like between the Temple of Sidon and the Royal Gate, like in between there, kind of.
You're currently past the Temple of Sidon to the left of the palace.
Okay.
But not quite at that fork that you see on the map.
Okay, cool.
Because it kind of branches off and you can go where you want from there.
Cool.
Kind of like the little pool area that you see, little pond.
I'll go really clean before I go up.
All right, so Vigor and Phoebe are going to go to Hall of Heroes.
I'm going to the. Is that you said arcane?
So Schools of the Arcane. So do you want to go
okay.
to the Transmutation School?
Yeah, I will. Yeah.
Okay. So let me just write that down, so I'm not forgetting anything. Then where do Leia and Prometheus and Carl want to go?
I'll go to the School of Abjuration.
Ooh. Okay.
What does transmutation do again?
Transmutation is it's the manipulation of manipulation of the world around you, like objects, environments, creatures, everything like that.
I'll go to transmutation.
Okay, so abjuration, transmutation. That leaves Prometheus.
Is there enchantment for imbuing like weapons or armors or items
There's
with?
an enchantment school, yeah.
Yeah, I'll go there.
Okay, Prometheus to the School of Enchantment. Okay. Alrighty. We will start with picking one at random. Carl. So as you follow in the direction of where Kira pointed, the schools of the arcane, and you see these 8 buildings. These buildings are all similar but markedly different from each other. As in, they had the same make, but they've each. It's almost like over time, whoever ran these different schools influenced the design of the buildings to be slightly different, like evolved over time to be slightly different. Like in terms of, like, you see the School of Transmutation, it's almost like this kind of like 3-4 story building has been shaped almost into like a tower towards the top. The other buildings are different to each other. You find the School of Abjuration is kind of, as you approach, make a Arcana check.
Well, good checks, though.
I can prompt you now if you want.
If you could, yeah.
There you go. 19. You feel as you're approaching this this kind of squat enough building. It's not as frilly as some of the other ones. Like Evocation has like all sorts of decoration on it. Transmutation is like odd, like has odd shapes to the building itself. Divination has kind of got like this weird kind of vibe to it. Just staring at it looks odd. But Abjuration, plain, normal. Not really much alteration has been done to the base building itself. But as you approach the building, you feel a shiver come over you. Almost like you pass through a ward. Okay, as you approach the building, you see multiple scholars kind of dotted around the place. And one individual standing, kind of giving a speech or a presentation to a group of these students. He is a older, gray-haired, very muscular built half-orc, with bronze skin, scars on his face, and he's giving just a rather calm talk about the shield spell. He's discussing how to manipulate magic to reflexively protect yourself. Okay.
Does it look like there's anywhere where someone would be able to sell me scrolls?
Nowhere here looks like a shop, if that's what you're getting at. But there are people to talk to.
I will pester the first person I see beside me.
Who is there? Like, there are students, and then there is this teacher, by the looks of things.
I will not read the room and pester the students.
Okay, so you go up to one of the random students. What are you saying to him?
I want to buy some scrolls. Who sells them? Who sells them? Who sells them? Who
He
sells
just
them?
points
Who
at
sells
the
them?
teacher.
Alright, and I push him out of the way, and I just keep going forward to the teacher.
Okay, so the teacher's like mid speech. He's like mid presentation, and you see like a brief flash of magic. I was like this dark blue, almost purple shield appears on his arm as he's just kind of holding it out, and he's demonstrating it to. He's like, and this is what you can do when you master the basics of the shield spell and you become used to how, and he's kind of giving like a deeper like breakdown of the magic. It's something you're easily able to follow along to what he's saying as you approach him. What are you saying as you approach?
See, but would I know whether he's about to finish up?
He looks like he's finishing a speech. Yeah.
All right, I'm just gonna walk past him, see like, yeah, just wait for him to finish, and then ambush him.
Okay, you walk by him. He notices you walking by, because you get the feeling he knows everyone's face here. So you walking by, you're odd, but he doesn't stop you walking by. He finishes up his speech and he turns, walks in the direction that you went, and he comes up to you, after giving his lesson for the day. Oh, welcome to the School of Abjuration. My name is Makon. How can I help you?
Archon, it's nice to meet you. I will be the world's best wizard in no due time, in a very due time, and I would need your assistance
Old
in
claim.
getting a little bit stronger now.
Yes.
I will need some very basic spells from you. Not that I do not know them, but rather I've dedicated my time to learning more important ones from other schools.
Enlighten me. What are your magical capabilities?
And then
Which schools have you most endeared yourself to?
I believe the school of evocation is always the best. Offense is always the best defense, is what they say. Someone has said, I'm sure.
Yes, there is some validity in that. But sometimes offense is not an option.
Yes. And unfortunately, that's why I'm here now, to beseech your scrolls and to give you money for them.
We do not sell scrolls like you're thinking, but we can offer you some teachings to teach you the spells so that you can transcribe them yourself.
I'm very short on time, as you know. With the with Sidon's storm plaguing the city for the past week or two, me and my colleagues have actually just came here to rid the hurricane. I'm very short on time. How long will it take?
A day. A day of study per spell.
Okay, I could do it with that. How much?
It depends on the spell itself. Something as simple as a cantrip, only 5 to 10 gold pieces. Just for the materials of learning to cast a spell. Unfortunately, magic is an expensive hobby. But if you wish to learn some like higher level spells, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth in some cases, prices can raise rather exponentially.
Oh, I do understand. It is outrageous how expensive it is to buy pieces
Yes,
of
it
paper
is.
nowadays.
It is. Yes, I'm very well aware of the pain.
In that case, I have the list of these two spells here for level 1 mage armor, level 3 dispel magic. How much would that set me back?
Interesting. Mage armor, that would be about 50 gold pieces. Dispel magic, that's a complicated one. That's about 300.
Check my gold. Let me just check my gold real quick. I'm poor as shit. I'll take the mage armor at the very least. Can I haggle you down to 35? As a fellow portrayer of the Arcanians.
Hold on, let me just double check the prices.
You also save the city, bride.
So your owl isn't with you, is he?
What was
No,
it?
she's hiding somewhere.
So how much? What are you?
Like to haggle down the price of the mage armor to 35. It's a special discount to a fellow purveyor of the arts.
He smiles at you a little bit before. See,
Shit.
He looks at you. He's like, "It is a pleasure to meet you, but unfortunately, you have not introduced yourself to me."
I am Carl, one of the companions chosen by I forgot her name, the Oracle, to save the
Mercy.
land.
Okay.
Versi, save the land from Sidon, coming after since the 500-year treaty is now soon coming to an end. And if you've not heard of me, you definitely have seen the actions of our movements recently, as we have gotten rid of the hurricane that Sidon has besieged upon the city.
Hmm. Yes, you did good there. I'll let you roll again. Just
Let's go. Let's get a 1.
Hey.
hey, 17. I can't go down to 35 just because the cost of the materials, even though we do get them in bulk, they still do cost money. I can go down as low as 40 for mage armor.
Okay, fine. All right. Thank you.
Well,
I'll take
you
it.
don't. You only need to pay once you are ready to study. Are you ready to study now?
I'm sure there's nothing more important going on. Give me a second. I'm gonna write on a piece of paper. I'm gonna get Eris to come back to me. I'm gonna unsummon Eris, summon her again. Take the piece of paper, tell her to give to the other guys. Tell her I'm off for the day. Don't look for me.
Okay. So who are you sending Aerith off to tell?
Was there a group of 2 or 3, right?
Yeah, there's a group of Vigor and Phoebe and Leia and Xander.
Yeah, we'll send them to both.
Okay. Yeah. So Phoebe and Vigor, you both Eris appear like you see Eris flying towards you, and informing you that Carl is busy for the rest of the day, and Xander and Leia, you received the same notice.
Wonder what he's getting up to.
You say so. You after this, Macon just thinks, impressive. You have a fine familiar. I suppose if you wish to begin now, and he gestures into the school itself.
Ah, yes, most certainly, please, in as
Okay.
quick as time as possible. I would rather not be in this. And I'm
Yes,
looking
I
under my
think
breath.
you
Disgusting school.
it will take about 6 hours.
Jesus Christ.
Let's go. Let's go.
Okay, so you travel into the school you travel in. So we'll just say for the next until 8 p.m. Carl is busy learning mage armor under the actually very astute and very helpful assistance of Macon, who you learn to be the head of the School of Abjuration and one of the oldest members of the academy. You cast sending, Leia.
Yes, I sent message to Carl. Are you having sex? That's all.
Just 4 words. Are you having sex? Okay, Carl, you can respond in 20 words or less.
Oh wait, that's how this works. It's like a telephone.
Yeah. Third level spell.
Yes.
Just
With the teacher.
Guys,
okay.
he's having sex.
Don't look for me.
Xander, you hear Leia tell you that.
Okay, good for him. But is he actually a squash? Or is he
Okay.
just getting trapped?
I don't know. He's having sex with someone.
Okay. Next up then is Vigor and Phoebe in the Hall of Heroes.
I'll just go get some stuff.
Hall of Heroes.
What time do you go want to tidy up at? Because there's.
Yeah, I just want to get through this bit here and then we'll end it there.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
So the Hall of Heroes, you see there are many statues and busts in these halls, of heroes of Thalea that predate, that go back to the war, the war that led to the Oath of Peace. You see scrolls and scrolls dotting the walls around these busts. What are you guys looking for?
Phoebe, do you want to go first?
Yeah. Anything
Kira's joined you, by the way.
resembling...
Who's
Sorry?
joined us?
Kira.
Ah, okay.
Oh, fun. Oh, can I ask Kira about the rest of her instruments?
Yeah. She tells you that the 3 other instruments are. Let me just double check the exact names. Don't want to fuck that up. Her 3 other instruments are a lyre, a kithara, and a lute. The lyre is capable. She tells you the lyre is capable of casting sleep at a higher level and counterspell. The kithara is capable of casting Zone of Truth and Magic Circle, and the lute is capable of casting Hold Person and Conjure Elemental once per day.
And do we know where they are?
Yeah. The lyre is. Let me see. The lyre is held by Uria, the autumn wind. The lute is held by Zephyrus, the summer wind, and the kithara. She actually doesn't know where the kithara is.
Fun.
That was
Cool.
her instrument when she was in the band, but she doesn't know where it is anymore.
Cool. Fun. We'll keep that in mind for later times. But while we're in the Hall of Heroes, I'm looking for anything around satyrs and hopefully my hubby.
Okay. In that case, I'll have you. Perception or investigation, your choice. Which you want?
Sorry, I didn't.
Which would you prefer?
Oh,
Perception or investigation?
perception or investigation? Investigation.
Okay, there you go. 15.
We tried.
You find stories of heroic satyrs that predate the main human settlements. Some of these are scrolls that go back millennia in some cases, that speak of heroic satyrs, and you occasionally see references to a name appearing in one scroll and then appearing in another scroll, and it's odd. You've never seen this name before, and you've no idea what this has to do with all these tales of famous satyrs. Like some examples were of star-crossed lovers who from different tribes that worshipped someone by the name of Talius. And then you see others other just snippets of references that just there's nothing related that you can see that that quite matches up to what you're looking for in relation to satyrs or your husband, or you actually find you start looking at like for documentation of tribes that were in the area that you came from, and there's nothing. It's almost odd how little you see. Like it's been almost surgically removed from history. Anything else you're looking for before we go to Vigor?
I'm good. Thank you.
All right, Vigor, what are you looking for?
So, as I enter the room, I think the biggest thing on my mind is there anything that can give me more information on Aristanar? Potential location,
Okay.
any sort of anything that can maybe jog the memory of, the spell required to hatch the dragon egg, anything to do with dragons, anything like that that can maybe help the team or myself.
17.
Or anything
Well,
about my
you're
past regarding Versi lore when I was asleep and in my dream. Anything.
you do
Those are like the
see,
key
as
things
you're
that are in my
looking
mind.
through, you do see references to a dragon by the name of Aristanar.
Oh, nice.
You also see references to its rider,
Oh,
Vigor Hirath. You also see references that talk of Vigor being under the command of Esther Arkenlander. And you even see a bust of Esther Arkenlander. You see busts of all of the Dragonlords around this hall. Even ones that came after.
would I know if Igor Hirath is me or is it a descendant?
Yes, it is
Oh,
you.
it is me. Oh, cool.
But the discussions, the references that you find to Aristanar are simply that, references. There is no descriptions of the dragon, what came, like where they came from or where they went. It's just, it's almost like an order of battle where you see it's a battle around a Geigen settlement. That was Geigens were engaged by Esther Arkenlander
Would I
with
know what a
his dragon
Geigen is?
Akadayania and Vigor Hurath and his dragon Aristanar. And these are just small little references of battles from the war.
Okay. Cool. And what about the spell to hatch dragon eggs? Would there be anyone in there that I could talk to that could help with that
There
situation,
is,
or is that in a different part of the academy, maybe?
that would well, you actually know the spell. It's in your crown. When you
Oh,
cast the bond, it when the egg is ready.
and is that only my egg, or could that be anyone's egg?
Any when the egg is
Nice.
ready and you cast the bond, it'll hatch.
Okay.
But yeah,
That's in my crown. Cool. Okay.
it's part of the crown.
Suppose the only other thing would be, a while back, it's been bugging me for a while. I was asleep and in my dream, Versi said, "It's okay, I forgive you. You're safe from here now." So you're safe from her now.
Yeah.
I was just wondering is there anything that can enhance within this room, since it's the Hall of Heroes.
What are you looking for though? Like you're looking
Who
through
is her?
scrolls and books.
Yeah. Is there anything that kind of like
With
maybe
the
is there a piece?
17,
No. Is there a book that has maybe that piece of text? Maybe I don't know. I don't know.
With the 17, you find nothing.
Okay. All right. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Thank you.
Next up then is Prometheus Enchantment.
Cool. I'll go into the hall and look for some a more older, maybe figure of authority.
Yeah, you see a short, stout gnome with hair, with like tufts of hair that are white like fresh snow, and a long beard. And he's got these like wire spectacles on, and he's kind of reading through a book, just kind of up close. He looks to you as you enter. Yes.
Excuse me, good man. Apologies for interrupting your reading. My name is Prometheus, one of the Oracle's chosen, grandson of Vulcan. I'm here to learn more about the art of enchantment, as it might help us in our quest to defend the people of Mitros in the mortal realm. I wonder.
He goes, yes. And you see him take the book, and he kind of puts it down beside him, and you then notice as he puts the book down beside him, tiny little clockwork-looking minions that are just that he puts the book on top of, and as he starts walking, it's kind of beckoning for you to follow. The little clockwork minion starts following behind, carrying the book.
Cool.
And he goes, so enchantment. You said you talked to Vulcan, did you?
Yes, he's my grandfather.
Yes, many demigods have come through here looking for tales of their past or ways of, how do I put it, living up to their godly parents or grandparents. What particular kind of enchantment are you looking at?
Mainly combat and enchantments. Looking for, particularly something I have an eye on for quite a while would be items to increase strength.
So like so belts of like giant strength, for example.
Yes, yes. I'm wondering. Obviously, these are pretty rare items, but is there?
Yes, they are rare, but they are costly to make. The magic that is imbued with them requires the blood of said giant, which are rare to find. Many belts of such type that you would find would be very much old. The Geigans that were used to make these belts are pretty much now extinct. They were used. These belts would have been used during the Great War, and in the many soldiers that were considered disposable. You put on you give them immense strength, and you send them off to fight, kill 6-7 Geigen for one of them. That was their purpose. They were suicidal soldiers, men that were already dead, that were sent to.
What are these? Is there only the certain Geigans which would be able to be used to, or do you need is a giant only that you need to go to make a belt?
It depends. It depends on the Geigen, on where the innate magic of the Geigen. The average one would be equivalent. Would not really amount to much. It's the ones that I say like grew up in colder terrain or near volcanoes or that is where the innate magic of the land has influenced themselves. They are exceedingly rare. Not to mention immensely intelligent creatures.
Would you know where would be the best place, or do you know of any in existence where we would possibly go if we were to?
If you travel, I'm sure if you travel up into the steppes, you're inclined to find some. Otherwise, the Forgotten Sea or the Cerulean Sea, if even. But I'm sure there are some hiding out in the Forgotten Sea. It's too treacherous for our settler civilization to travel out that far anymore. And not since the Oath of Peace is coming to an end, it's becoming very, very difficult.
Would you have any? Would your halls have kept?
Sorry, what was that?
I said, does your halls contain any famous enchanted items?
Not particularly. No, we more just research the We don't particularly retain any of these kind of items. We just research the magic behind them. We can enchant stuff, but we don't really have any ourselves. Apologies. My name is Karodotas. And he reaches up, and he is reaching up. He's like 3 foot tall, and he's like puffs of white hair and a long white beard.
Nice you.
Yeah,
Nice
let
to
me
meet
know if you are talking to Vulcan again, because I do so enjoy my conversations with him.
Okay. If I've currently have an order with him, if it's back in time, I should come up and I'll show you his most
Yes,
recent creation.
I'd be very, very enthused. I am fascinated by what he can create.
Okay, cool.
Hmm.
That's pretty much it.
Okay. Next up then, Leigh and Xander, Transmutation, School of Transmutation. So specifically, what are you guys looking for?
Well, I'm gonna try find Chalcoda. Is that how I say
Yeah.
her?
I will follow.
Okay. So you come across this School of Transmutation, where you saw where Carl went off. You saw where Prometheus, the School of Prometheus headed off in the direction of, and the School of Transmutation, it's an odd looking building, and you see some students attempting to, like, you see them kind of rubbing dirt in their hands and then just throwing it out and expecting something to happen, and nothing happens. And then they look at their hands like, what the fuck did I do wrong? And sitting on a kind of on a long couch, but like just sitting upright, is a high elf with dark skin and long brown hair that goes down beyond her butt, and she's dressing in like some of the finest clothing you've seen. The only finer clothing you've seen is being on the goddess Valis. It's just this fine clothing with gilded armbands and fine silks adorning her. And oh, look, some new students. Welcome. What can I do for you today? I'm currently observing my students fail epically at casting some mold earth. She's kind of just staring at them.
Very,
How
very
can I help?
interesting. I've never come across this before, but I'm Xander of the Oracle's Chosen, and this is.
And I am Chalcoda.
Oh,
I
very
am the head of the School of Transmutation here in the Academy.
excellent. I was.
And who is your companion? And she gestures to you, Leia.
This is Leia.
I'm Leia. I'm the cleric of the party.
Ah, good. I've never really put much faith in gods myself, but
Understandable.
yes. Her accent is a little bit off. It doesn't sound quite Mitrosi, compared to many of the others that you've heard.
Interesting.
But yes. What brings you to my school today?
Well, to make a incredibly long story short, I have a seed of from a tree from Miramir, and I was wondering if I could find some information that could guide me to its uses, or if it was valuable to someone, or if it was just generally information.
That is most interesting. Do you show it to her?
Yeah, I show it to her like this. Yeah.
It's like, she looks at it. For something so normal looking, it's so strange. And you see, just kind of like, she just snaps her fingers, and you see a bright, like a flash on her eyes as she's kind of looking at it. Very magical.
If I roll,
that is. Do you want to understand what she just did?
Yeah, could I like? Is it like? Do I roll? was it?
I'll prompt you now. Xander and Leia might as well because you're both present.
Insight, I guess, is it?
No, it'd be Arcana.
Okay.
She casts magic.
Oh, I have no idea.
You have no idea, Xander, but Leia, you get the impression she just cast Tech Magic. And she's something from Mirror. I haven't heard of something coming from there in a long while. I suppose I understand why you came to me, a magical seed. None of the other schools really fit all that well. But Mirror, that makes things complicated. I suppose you'll have to go see the Plane Master in the Orrery. She would. I can accompany you.
Yeah, sure.
This has intrigued me, and you were more intriguing than them. She kind of just other students that are still so they're young enough. They're about like 14, 15, and they're trying to cast a basic cantrip and they're failing. So it's like I'll get someone else to teach them. And she just turns and you see her gesture to one of the more senior looking students, just points to the younger ones that are failing miserably. And she leads you in the direction of the orrery. The orrery it's kind of like an observatory looking building. It's more up Mount Vulcan, as like a lot of the academy complex is very much on its own level, but you follow some stairs up to like an observatory looking building about 300 feet up the mountain.
Wow. Okay.
And inside you see it's like you know those panorama style rooms in science buildings where like they have all the planets going around a sun kind of deal. It's that's this huge chamber filled with like what looks to be a representation of Thalea in the center, and then what looks to be several circling, like just things that just circle around slowly around the room, and it is huge.
Yeah.
All made of bronze clockwork, celestial spheres moving around. In the center of the room, you see a siren, a winged woman, with red hair and feathers, and wearing kind of a leather-looking mage robes and a satchel across her back. As you enter, Jalcoda steps before you and goes, Orena, I have some interesting guests for you. These individuals here, they claim to be the Oracle's chosen. They have found an interesting seed that I think you'd be interested in. And she immediately turns and looks at Chalcoda with a momentary glance of like, oh fuck, what do you want? And then she just, upon saying that, she goes, upon hearing what she said, she goes, oh, what kind of seed are we talking about? Like, oh, it's seed from Miramir. And instantly, Arena just, okay. She just strides over to you, and it's a 30-foot gap, and you just see her like power walking towards you, and she stops right in front of you, Xander, and tilts her head to the side, and you can see up close feathers that come from her cheeks, like make up a lot of her hair, like mingle in with her red hair. And she's looking at you, you're in Miramir, you got a seed?
Yes, yeah. It was we were in an Acropolis, and then we found a portal that brought us there.
Interesting. Was it just the one portal?
Yes, and it closed when we left.
There was no other portals, just the one.
Just the one from what we saw, yes.
Okay. and it was part of the it was fixed placed. It wasn't just spontaneous. It was
fixed. It was like in a specific room.
fixed.
In this,
I've been looking for stuff like that. I've heard tales. Let me introduce myself. I am Plane Master Arena of the Academy. I am the preeminent expert on all planar research here in the Academy. So I've never met anyone that traveled to Mirrormere.
Well, our whole party went through.
Impressive.
And we even drank the waters of Mirrormere.
Amazing. Mirrormere is an interesting plane because it is a plane. It is not its own. It is its own thing.
Yeah.
It is in between many different realms, many different planes of existence. It is like a go-between, a center of magical energy. In many cases, it is similar to the Underdark, where the Underdark links Thalea as we know it with the Nether Sea and the realms of the dead beyond the Nether Sea. Mirrormere links Thalea to other realms, to what the fuck were they called? What were they called?
Okay.
I can get them here quickly. That's enough.
The third plane?
Other planes.
Like where the forge lady came.
Oh, true.
They link to the Mirror is like a go-between to planes known. I've only seen reference to them of Nakeb, Grimnir, and Avalon, and another one that its name escapes me, but it seems to have been scrubbed from any historical writings on this subject.
Yeah.
It is interesting, and you claim to have a seed from this, and she looks at. Can I hold it?
You can, yeah.
She takes it and she looks at it and she's kind of admiring it. I wonder if you plant this, what would happen?
That's what I was thinking. Like, is there? No one's ever really experimented with that.
The nature of the magic, and hold on 2 seconds while I double check something. The nature of the magic is conjuration. That doesn't make any sense. Why? I suppose it's just a quirk of the plane that the trees there have that. This is the most interesting. Thank you for this.
What if we planted it and see what happened?
I think you should ask Alice about it before you do anything. Get more information.
True. Like right now we're kind of just trying to gather information as well. Like it's,
yeah. Like if you want to plant it at the end of the day, you also need to find a good place to plant.
True. Like you wouldn't be able to just grow it anywhere, I don't think.
People are gonna burn it down. Because how chaotic this world is.
Yeah. Okay. So she's kind of she's interested. You've 100% piqued her interest. I'm not sure how much help I would be until you planted this, because what little I know of the other planes of Mirror, I've only heard tales of the waters of Mirror. And you said you drank from them?
Yes, we did. Yeah, that we were
And what happened?
revitalized with energy and yield.
Most interesting. What did you see in the sky?
It was pitch black night with stars, I think.
What was the
Interesting.
constellation?
There was a constellation, wasn't there?
Yeah. The bear, probably. Hang on. Stars.
Can't remember what the constellation was now, but
Storm we have. No, we don't have stars here. Unfamiliar though.
Unfamiliar star. So yes, you were definitely in Mirror. Then you would have recognized the constellations of Thalea.
Mm.
One of the theories I've heard about Mirror is it is the remnants of a dead god. That is used as an intermediary point between other realms. It's a theory I've heard, but I'd like to visit this place. You said it was. Where did you find this portal?
okay, so
Obelisk Telemach.
In Telemach.
Telemach.
Okay.
Yeah, we went there.
Okay.
Tuesday, wasn't it? It was.
Okay. I think we'll leave it there anyway.
Okay, yeah.
She's like, she doesn't really have any more information.
It gives you a chance to do any prep for it as well.
Yeah. So
yeah.
we visited the. Sorry, I've had my mom coming in looking for me to set up the stream for F1. So, but
Let's go.
Ollie's at 5, right?
Yeah, it's at 5, and
Yeah.
it's like 7 minutes to 5. So.
Okay.
Well, we can leave it there, and we'll do another online session next week.
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
Is Saturday okay, or we want to do Monday?
When do people want? Monday's a bit soon.
As in the Monday after.
Oh, as in, wait, what date?
So that would be
I won't be
The
doing that
28th
Monday.
or the.
The 1st?
4th.
Oh,
The 4th. Do you want to do the 4th?
I'm going away the Tuesday, so I won't be there for that.
You're going away on Tuesday, Carl, not Monday.
Yeah, but well, I guess I could bring my laptop, but it wouldn't really.
Well, you won't be away then.
We could do something on like the 30th, maybe Wednesday.
Yeah. Or do you want to do Saturday again?
We could do Saturday again. I can do an online on Saturday.
Yeah.
But Max can't.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm away.
Well, we can talk about it online because.
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
I'll put up some options for next week.
That's fine, and we can talk about when we want to do the in-person thing as well.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Talk to you.
Cool.
Thank you.
Guys,
Have fun, y'all.